Well, good morning. My name's Tom. Welcome. Welcome to the great state of Maine. This will be part 3 of the fish house build. So get your coffee. Just got down here actually. It's good and crisp this morning. You'll see some smoke in the background. I got my campfire all lit up. So I can go have me a cup of coffee next to the campfire when I've had enough of sitting in this drafty fish house. Well, what do I want to talk about today? And I'll show you around. Well, I'll take the camera around. I brought down the GoPro to get into the nooks and crannies of what I'm doing. But all the batteries for that was deader than a doornail. So we'll use the big camera. My windows. I got a storm window out of a mobile home for over here. This is my big solar window that will allow the sunlight to come in. It is 45 inches wide by 36 inches tall. Lots and lots and lots of sunlight will come in here. You got to think about it. I'm going after light. The whole deal with my fish houses for the last 40 years is light. I've had the big heavy ones. Some people don't mind working that hard. I'm not that way. I want to be light. I want to be mobile. And that's what this is. But more so than that is, think about a greenhouse. If you've ever seen a greenhouse in the state of Maine, all that they are is a sheet of clear plastic. And you go in there in the middle of the winter and that place will be 70 degrees. You know, mine at daytime, not at night, of course not. But when the sun is out, it's snug as a bug in a rug in there. Well, that's exactly how these fish houses work. There's no insulation in this place at all whatsoever. The only thing I wrap this thing with is 20 mil tarp. It's usually a green one or a black one. Depends on, I think this time, I think they're going to be black. I'm not sure, a brown. I think the one we built for the family, I think that turned out to be a brown top. Might be brown here too. But the darker colors will suck in the sunlight more, just like a greenhouse, and the whole thing becomes a heated box, just from the sun being out. Now it can be a windy, cold day, it doesn't matter. As long as you've got blue skies and lots of sun coming in from the southern exposure, you're snug as a bug in a rug. Now if I was to insulate this place, and I'm not knocking anybody that has an insulated fish house, so don't be hitting the unsubscribe button because oh man, he's talking against me. If you insulate this place, you are insulating from the sun as well. You're insulating it for the inside. You got your little buddy heater going, but you're also insulating it from any of the heat that you could absorb from the sun. That's why I don't insulate. What I do is I make this thing tight with the tarps. My corners are tight. My roof is tight. Everything is tight so that I don't have heat loss. I've got a wooden door. That's the other thing I have against those pop-ups. I hate them cold zippers. Every time you got to go in the fish house, you got to unzip the door and then trip over the door to get in. I have a regular wooden door, just like we've been building since the beginning of time. I build them out of tongue and groove pine. Just absolutely love my wooden doors. So anyways, the windows I'm putting in, we got the big one over here and everything else around here. You can see the hole that I'm talking to you through. That is 8 by 10. You can go bigger, you can go smaller. Usually I have a bigger window on both ends, but I have to buy the plexiglass this time. I've always had a stash of plexiglass that I picked up at the dump over the summer or over the years. I've come to the end of that pile, so I had to actually price out some plexiglass windows at Home Depot. Not that they're a lot of money, but I don't want to spend any money. I want to keep the cost down as much as possible. And another little tip on these fish houses, and I'll take you around. You'll see I have a plywood backer on the back of my seats. That's not just there for the back of your seat and comfort. It's a truss. Just like you'd put a truss up on your roof in your rafters, that's what this is. This is the brace for left to right. It's the back of the seat. Absolutely no part of this fish house is in here with just one purpose in mind. We're cutting down on weight. We still need strength. We need this thing to stay together, and that's how you do it. The bottom of the seats do the same thing. They're screwed in, so it keeps the building from racking this way. The plywood backers keep the fish house from racking this way, and it's just super solid. What else was there I wanted to talk? Got my windows. Got my door. So I guess we're gonna move on from this point. Oh, I know, I knew there was one more point. When you're cutting all these little 2x4s, if you can do it with a cheap cut-off saw, chop saw, you don't need to spend a lot of money. You can get a Ryobi one from Home Depot for dirt cheap. The cut-off saws give you a squarer cut on the end of these 2x4s, and then when you put in your screws, it just draws up. I haven't run a square on this whole thing because I know I'm running true and I'm running square on my cuts. So when you screw things together, it's already square and it's tight. If you cut it off with a skill saw, you're not going to get a good crisp square cut with a skill saw in comparison to a chop saw. You can run your little 2x4 piece right up against the fence and get a nice tight fit when you put them 2-3 inch sheetrock screws in. And all of that goes towards stiffening up this building left to right, up and down, everything. And everything's square, everything's tight. You know, towards the end of my career as a builder, I was building kitchens and stuff like that. So I get all this stuff from that kind of carpentry that I was in. But it makes a difference in the fish house too. I'm after fish houses that last a long time, and I'm after fish houses that weigh very little. I don't want to work hard putting a fish house out on the lake or on the trailer. And one of the other little tidbits of knowledge with making the fish house the width of your snowmobile is that if you've got a double wide snowmobile trailer, you can slide the fish house up on one side and then you can drive the snowmobile up on the other side. And that makes, when it's delivery time, that makes only one trip to the boat landing. That's what I do up at the cabin, unless I'm dragging it across the road and down over the hill and fishing the north end of the lake. If I want to fish the south end of the lake, then I load up my fish house on the double wide snowmobile trailer and down to the boat landing we go. This is extremely mobile. I had another thought this morning. I was thinking about, because we're Americans, we always built big houses. And sometimes I think that goes over into the ice fishing. You know, you build big, heavy ice fishing shacks. Save your big, heavy buildings for when they stay on land if you want to be mobile. And build yourself one of these things. You don't have to set in the same spot all winter. When you have a mobile fish house, you can fish this side of the lake in January. In February, you can go fish the other end of the lake. And then in March, you can fish the middle of the lake. Why does that matter? Well, everybody wanted little tidbits of knowledge. in my questions, in my comments, in March, I like to chase the cusk. And in March is when they spawn. So what I'm looking for in March, and I have them, I have some sandbars, I have some drop-offs that come off sandbars, and that's where I move my fish house to the 1st of March, and I'll fish those areas up and down the lake. So that's another reason for being mobile. And then if you want to fish for lake trout in January and February, you can do it in March too, but even chasing the whitefish, you want to go from hole to hole, spot to spot. Check out different spots for your whitefish and for your lake trout. And that's another beauty in being mobile. But I think the best thing about being mobile with an outfit like this is that when you pull up to where you want to fish for the day, the only setup that you have is to unhook this fish house from the snowmobile and light your buddy heater. You don't have to pop a tent. You don't have to screw it down to the ice. You don't have to do anything to it except unhook it from the snowmobile and start your ice fishing. You don't need to spend whatever time it takes. I've watched some videos this winter. The guy up on Moosehead laying down a full floor on the ice and then putting his pop-up tent on top of that. Just seems like an awful lot of work to do before you start ice fishing. To an old ice fisherman like me that's stuck in my ways. So it's coffee time, and one of the happiest things I like doing in life is building these foolish fish houses. Everybody talks about dreams and dreams and dreams. You know, when I build a fish house, my mind is racing all the time. Like building these windows the other day. I was thinking while I was putting it together, I wonder how many flags I'm going to see through this window. I wonder if my big fish is going to come through this window from looking out that side of the fish house. I haven't weighed him yet or measured him, but that is a really nice burbot this morning. I will get a couple of chowders out of this guy. Look at the size of him. And you know, you just wonder where you're going to put it. You wonder, you know, my mind is racing of the different holes that I want to go fish, the different shorelines I want to go fish, the different islands I want to go fish. It's just like when you put a boat in the water. You don't put a boat in the lake in the spring and anchor it and fish there for a month. You move around on the lake. You go trolling. You go fish different islands. You go fish different deep holes. You go try different areas. And that's for these mobile fish houses, I've always considered it kind of like trolling. You know, you go fish a few days here and then go fish a few days somewhere else. It's just perfect. And then I've also had like landing strips. Like what I say to that is like leave a set of blocking all ready to go. So when you move the shack and you want to bring it back at night, you can pull it up on those blockings, tie it down, and you kind of got a little parking lot. Maybe not necessarily fish there, but a good place to park your fish house. And so it's easier to move the next day or even closer to where you want to fish the next day. And if you're fishing a big lake, sometimes that's a big deal. You know, if you left the fish house 5 miles down the lake, that's a 5-mile ride down and a 5-mile ride back if you go down and pick it up. So lots of times I'll hook onto the fish house when I'm leaving that night if I'm not going to fish down there again. Drag it up to a honey hole, drop it off, and then go down and fish there tomorrow. But I'll tell you what, it's cold out here today. It's cold out. I got to throw a log on that fire. And I gotta get going, because I promised my wife I'd make her a chicken soup tonight. So later on this afternoon, I gotta go up and make a chicken soup. We got a snowstorm coming tomorrow. Little one, I guess. We'll see. Fun, fun, fun. Alrighty, you guys have a great day. I'm sure I'll be back.